This dresser is for the most part held together with rusty old nails, but we only need to pull out one of those drawers to find ourselves some good old-fashioned hand-cut joinery. What we've got right here is a half-blind dovetail joint. Visible only once the drawer is open, it's a strong way to secure the sides without exposing end grain on the front of our drawer. Speaking of those sides, a century or so of sliding in and out had not been good to them. There was substantial wear due to friction, and the groove that held the drawer bottom in place was ready to give out. I could have just replaced all the sides with brand new pieces of timber, but I want to leave as much of the original wood as I can, replacing pieces only when absolutely necessary. So I pared and then planed down the original groove before gluing on a fresh piece of pine. Next it was time to cut the groove back into our side, and I achieved this using my Stanley No. 50 combination plane. When using a specialised hand tool like this, I can't help but think of the craftsman who must have used a similar hand tool to achieve the same result all those years ago when this dresser was being originally crafted. I think we can learn a lot from this generation of makers. Oftentimes when looking at old vernacular furniture, you might see things that by today's standards would be considered poor craftsmanship. For example, rough saw marks or maybe even adze marks that were left on the back of a bench. I can see how they might have thought, well, if this is going to face the wall and nobody will ever see it, why bother wasting some precious time planing it down nice and smooth with a hand plane? Although in hindsight, these so-called imperfections give the furniture character, as well as giving us valuable insight into how the furniture was made, I still wouldn't dream of doing it today on one of my own pieces. I think in one way us modern makers are plagued with perfection. We scrutinise our own work to the bitter end out of fear of what other people might think of it. We've got the luxury of fussing over the tiny little details that only we and a handful of keen-eyed others will ever notice. Seeing the rough saw marks on the bottom of this drawer really allowed me to reflect on the craft. You could spend a lifetime trying to perfect every single square inch of the things you make, and even then you'd probably fail. Why not then embrace those imperfections? Not only might they be of interest to future generations admiring your work, but imperfections, especially those born of hand tool woodworking, can breathe soul and personality into your pieces, making them stand out, now more so than ever, in a world where mass-produced, homogeneous precision goods dominate every facet of our lives. Thanks for watching. Slán go fóill.